So UDP is the new kid on the block. So we've been using TCP all this while, but UDP has some great use cases. So what you do is, instead of the TCP way, which is SYN, SYNAC, ACK, you just send a request from the receiver, and then you just get back your response. That's about it. That is it. So UDP is a connectionless, lightweight transport layer protocol in the IP suite designed for situations where speed matters more than reliability. So TCP was extremely reliable, right? Because we were sending the SYN messages, and then for a few of the packets, we were sending ACK, but here also we were sending ACK to start the conversation. With UDP, not only do you not need to send SYN, SYNAC, ACK to start the conversation, but also every single time you're sending packets, you don't have to send that ACK message. So it kind of improves upon TCP in many ways, but it's only good for use cases where speed matters more than reliability. In cases where reliability is more important, then obviously TCP is still better. So TCP is like FedEx, right? Every single package is getting tracked, confirmed delivery. The order of the packages is also important. Whereas UDP is like dropping a postcard in the mailbox. It's just fast, simple. There are no guarantees. You just put the packets there, and you don't know if the receiver will receive those packets, but at least you've sent them. That's all it's about. So it's connectionless, right? You don't need any setup before sending data. You just fire and forget. It's not that reliable, right? There's no built-in retransmission, so it doesn't worry about sending and resending the packages and then maintaining the order. So there's no acknowledgement, there's no sequencing. As you can see, there's no SYN, there's no ACK, right? None of that sort. It's also fast. There is no time delay in setting up the connection. There's no three-way handshake. So the TCP thing, right? The SYN, SYNAC, ACK, it's called as a three-way handshake. This is not there. So there's no state tracking. So it's lower overhead and latency. Now, the header is also minimal. It's just 8 bytes compared to TCP's 20 bytes. And there's no flow control. So sender can just flood packets. So receiver must deal with that. So it's all on the receiver on how to deal with so many packets, like so much of data that's coming. And that's still easy, right? So the server, which is the sender, which sends the packet, if you don't pressurize the server too much, that means the system can scale a lot. The receiver, right? Receiver is just receiving from one server only. But the server has to connect to so many different receivers, right? So all the attacks, they happen on the server side rather than the receiver side. So if the receiver is under a little bit of stress and it's getting flooded with the packets, that's still all right, like in a much better situation than the sender getting attacked. I want to take a quick minute to tell you something very important. I'm sure you know that CTOs don't write a lot of code. So what do they actually do during the day? They actually work on system design and architecting systems. And not just CTOs, but anyone in a leadership positions like VP of engineering, director, they're all involved with planning and architecting systems. Now, directors and VPs are also delivery side where they have to manage people, but they're also technical VPs and directors. If you're someone who has experience in the industry and you see yourself moving up on the technical ladder, becoming someone who's responsible for orchestrating and architecting systems and not necessarily people management, then I have the perfect cohort program for you. It's a 3-month advanced system design cohort. 20 people have already joined it. Everyone has a lot of experience. Some of them have even 25 years of experience. It's a great community for you to come and hang out. If you think you're a good fit, there's a link in the comments and in the description of this video. Fill it up. We'll check if you're a great fit and we'll set up some time with you. Now let's get back to the video. And no congestion control. So it can overwhelm networks if it's misused. So that's something that we can discuss later on, like how even UDP is not that great from a security standpoint. Like nothing is great from a security standpoint, right? So the best security advice is just to shut down your laptop and go outside. That's the best security advice. But then we'll discuss for UDP also. So use cases for UDP, right? So it's just one request, as you can see, and then like multiple responses, right? And then it's great for video streaming because even if there's one frame that's been dropped, that's all right, right? Video can manage, video can work with that. And it's also great for online gaming where real-time movement updates are involved. So TCP is not that great for online gaming because every single time you have a few packets that are sent, you have to send back an acknowledgement. That takes time. It takes time to set up the connection. And also, if there's a packet that's lost, the remaining packets will keep waiting in the buffer in TCP. UDP doesn't have any of that sort, so it's really quick. And VoIP, right? Real-time voice packets. So amazing. UDP is amazing. And live broadcasts that also UDP is a great option. Now UDP multicast, there's something called as UDP multicast. It's used in stock markets. We'll talk about that like much later in the playlist when you're very comfortable with systems. But that's the main use case for UDP that you'll see in this playlist. All right, now let's move on to the next video.